Hey, Shelby Allen here with this is CS6460 Milestone 2, an app for helping people with remedial math. I wanted to run through just some of the tech pipeline for this intermediate milestone, just show a little bit of the end product and what all has come together to produce that. So let's start at the end. So this is just, some of this is just like boilerplate, but over here in the testing section I have kind of an image loaded, and I'll show where that comes from in a minute, but then also a button here that is pulling from, again, what I'll show in a moment. So we have a collection of different things kind of coming down conversation like style. You can see this is scroll upable, scroll downable. Those are verbs. So the goal of this application is to have information stored in a database about different subjects, and then to help a user identify which subjects they need help with, sort of in organic fashion by asking questions. And then once certain subjects have been identified as being useful for the user to learn, to focus on those and to help kind of set up practice sessions a la Duolingo or something like that. So some important components is having a list of subjects, and then according to those subjects, having some question material. And so one of the directions that's probably not within the scope of the project, but something that I was toying with, was the idea of having users being able to submit questions that they thought would help explain certain problems. But regardless of whether or not that feature comes in, I wanted to have a database that had the subjects and then the relationships between those subjects. Like if someone wants to know about multiplication, then they probably need to know about addition first. Sort of like a hierarchical or at least a map related competencies required. And so let me show that. So we have a database. We're going to browse our data. We have to open the database file. Let's see. Great. Subjects. So we can see here that there are a variety of subjects. One of the problems that have come up early in the research so far is I would like a way to try and I came up with a list as best as I could, and I kind of firmly believe that the more granular we could make the list of skills, the better it would be for people. And so I would think that in the future there would hopefully be a way to kind of crowdsource the generation of this as well. And then we have dependencies. You can see each of these have IDs, and then we have kind of, on my best estimation, dependencies on which subjects depend on others in order to understand them better. And then we have a list of problems. So there's can be a question blob, which is an image, an explanation, image, choices, and an answer as well. So if we, image can't be viewed, so if you view it as an image, you can see here that here's a picture that I took of it. So within the database itself, the pictures and the explanations can be stored. And so how to get those all the way into the application. So it's a mobile application running on iOS. It's being loaded through Expo, which can be deployed on Android as well. The code for this was a bit of a pain because apparently, loading a SQLite database and then even pulling blob data from the SQLite database had a little bit of trouble there. Had to kind of like load it and then tag it as a JPEG base 64. But then, and where it is being loaded, have to kind of like load it with a buffer. That's like a custom library. But we've got it working now. So that was one of the huge hurdles for this stage, was to kind of get all of the technological pieces in place. Let's see, one of the last things I wanted to see if I could quickly demonstrate is if I was thinking about loading an additional image, but that would involve pulling up a list of photos from my Google account. So I'm not going to do that on a recorded video. But as you can see here, the main goal will be just talking a little bit more about the design here. When someone's investigating different subjects, here, like, the image will be included in line, and then down here, instead of just press me, there will be like a selection of buttons as to like what answer you think it is. And then depending on whether it's right or wrong, it can just say right, or if it's like, oh, actually no, and then it can show the explanation image, and then everything continues to scroll up like a conversation, and then it shows the next question after that. And that format is sort of intentional to make it look kind of conversational and easygoing for people who need remedial math, to make it feel a little bit less like an assignment. So anyway, that's my progress for now, and be interested in hearing feedback, both just kind of in that general goal. I'll try and put some of my previous information in the milestone, as well as suggestions on subjects or what someone might want to see in this particular app, or whether they think that being able to explore and finding the right subject for people has value. All right, guys, thank you very much.